Okay, welcome Gina, Sylvia, and let's do a sound check. Make sure everybody can hear me. Yes. So am I coming out loud and clear? Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Gina. Okay, so we all know what we need to do. So if there's a currency, there's somebody out there in the audience like to look at, please. You don't hear anything. Okay. Look at your controls. Perhaps, let me just have a look at my controls. Yeah, my mic's on. So it just might be your setting, Sylvia. You hear me now? Okay, great. Okay, so has anybody got a currency live right now that looks like it's doing something that they would like to go through? Okay, we have a starter. Now, who's that? Aussie US, wait for red vertical line on M15 or M30. Okay, you're waiting for one. Okay. All right, so here we have 4 charts. These are the 4 charts I had last week. So 15 minutes. Let me just refresh it because I see no lines, so perhaps a refresh will be an official. Okay, so just bear with me a sec. Algae River. Okay, all I'm doing on the LG is, although it doesn't make a sound, it will draw the second river line. Okay. So as you can see, LG River 1 uses the base a higher time frame river. Yeah. Okay, so currently we've got a river over here, and you can see this. It needs a refresh of it. Okay, because no. Okay, so when we refresh it, we can see in that hidden window where LG River 1 is. Now that I've refreshed it, it's filled in the lines that should be there. Yeah. Okay, so River 1 is the current time frame one. Okay, so we've got a river actually in the template that draws the River 1 lines. I don't have a second river that does that because I don't want to use up too much CPU because we've got the LG alert. Okay, but the LG alert is a supervised indicator, so it has the LG River 2 in it, yeah, or the LG River 1, just with the higher time frame. Okay, so all I'm doing is making sure that even though the LG trend alert V2 doesn't make an alert when it draws a vertical line to show where it sees the river line is, we can still get it to draw. Okay, so I'm just waiting for it to, okay. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so you can see that the news of the voting's done. Okay, so when a country is in the middle of doing votes, whoever's going to win the election isn't known yet, so the market is basically waiting for that. So over the weekend, the market, the election happened, and obviously Monday morning, the market's aware when it opens that the election happens, and when election happens and somebody's won the election, then there's certainty back in the market. And for Aussie, that was a bit of a boost. So you can see one of the unusual times when Aussie basically went nearly 50 pips and gapped. You know, it doesn't usually do that. And which reflected in the 100 pip gap that pound Aussie, because generally there's a 2 to 1 movement. Okay, so momentum is so strong that it's kept pushing and grinding it up, and yeah, we see a bit of a correction. Yeah, so it's virtually moved up since first up this morning. It's moved up 67 pips. Mind you, the first few minutes of this morning at 7 o'clock, it virtually went, well, 43 pips, yeah. So 2/3 have done first up this morning. Okay, so that's what we see in the 15 minute. Okay, so green center line, still a lot of green. Okay, and we can see in a multi time frame, you can see that 1 hour's got a, I'm just gonna have a sip of water. Okay, that's better. So we can see in the H1 top left hand corner, the H1 solid green center line, M30 solid green center line, yeah. So these still have upward pressure. Okay, so since and because it's gone up high, it wants to consolidate. Okay, so it wants to come back towards the center line. Okay, so yeah, in the M30 you can see it coming down and touching the green center line. The H1 hasn't done that yet, but it would like to do that. Okay, and perhaps maybe bounce back up. But that movement of consolidating down, we see it reflected into 5 minutes. Okay, so it's basically got a confirmed red vertical line. Okay, so Oz US is a 10 pip default stop loss or channel. Okay, so especially marked candle, 10 pips up is way beyond the channel line. So our default will be the stop level that we'll use for trade management. That means we expect it to go at least 141, which is 10 pips. Okay, so which is roughly about where it is now, yeah. So it's always best not to leave it to your imagination and good practice and good habit to draw the trade management lines, because they give you the framework of where you're pointing to it. Because if it's going down, you need to have a line down. So it's RF, that's why it's thinking, because it's got a new 5-minute candle and it's doing the diamond. Yep. Okay. So the places price action on a confirmed vertical is 10 pips, because default is greater than the channel. So the default is the stop loss. Okay, so we draw one at the set at the open price, one at the channel is going towards, a 141, and a 241. Yep. Okay, so these are all the possibilities that we're pointing down that it can go to. Okay, so given that it does have a green center line in pretty much most of the other time frames, okay, so over here to start it, but the orange timing line still needs to get above it, yeah? So look at the M15, the yellow future line. This, you know, if it gets past it, would probably be a bounce point, yeah? So that's 4 pips from where price is. And you can see okay, so the future line of the 15 minutes pretty much on the channel line into 5. Okay, so you know if it does get past this part, but one of our rules is, you know, this is not a 2-for-1 trade. So our initial target would be either 1-for-1 trade or the channel line. And if it doesn't get there or a diamond appears before then, it signals that we should exit. Okay, so in this case, on that candle we would exit and wait for the next opportunity and leave it at that, you know, to go and keep hoping that it's going to go too much more or down, and you've already been giving the alerts that say that you should exit because that's the rule says, because most times it can bounce back the other way. Okay, so this is all about entering the trade for the reason it is, understand what the rest of the charts are saying. Okay, so we're going to get at some stage we definitely expect to have a bounce. If you look at the 30-minute, okay, it's poking itself through green center line, and now it's got the timing line, and because the timing line's there, it's also presenting a bit of resistance, yeah. So, and this is the other point where price action will actually have a bit of attraction to, is the center line of the green, yeah. Okay, as you can see, going through that and touching that, will still, it's not going to be too far from where your profit already got for that sell trade. So we're going to be realistic with our targets, yeah. And that, so what the 5 minutes doing is doing what, helping the 30 and H1 achieve their consolidation, yeah. Because even if it does manage to go through or spike through the green, it's going to bounce off in the 1 hour, because as long as that's solid green, that's green, it'll need to do that, come down, go up, so it can cause those 2 lines to flatten out like the 15 has. Okay, so okay, my platform seems to be having a rest, so there must be, okay, 7:15. Okay, so it's a new candle and that, and there was a little blue arrow in the 15, so that's an alert. Even though I didn't get it to make a noise, it will cause the indicator, because the indicator is actually still noting that there's an arrow. Okay, so if we do get a vertical red in the 15 and 30, we might find that they might take some time to actually, and they might give us 2 or 3 before it actually be confirmed, yeah. Anybody got any questions about what I've said or what we've seen on the charts? Okay. So possibility that maybe jumping diamond environment here. Okay. But we've taken the red that presented and was confirmed. Around the trade, we would actually need to have some additional alert to let us yeah, to then see whether it's quite whether it's actually finished this or whether it wants to grind down a little bit more into M5. Yeah. But what the other chart says is that's all the M5 is going to do for that cell. It's going to grind down a little bit more. And there's going to be a bit of resistance. Yeah. So we can go and take a look at the pound Aussie, the 15-minute that Sylvia's asking us about. So just bear with me a sec. So I changed my M15 to a pound Aussie. Let's see what it's saying. So yes, so we can have upward momentum. The price will need to go down if it wants to go up. And then going down, it can give us a sell. And if it might consolidate a little bit more and allow us to have one in the 15. Okay, but this is speculation. Okay, we just still need for it to happen. Okay, so all right, yep. Now once again, best way is just to really to go and move up and down a time frame, force the template to assess the information and to remove any of the baggage and memories of vertical lines, because the vertical lines are objects, so objects can still remain with a template. So that's why we actually need to go up and down, which forces it to actually process the information again. Okay, so going down. Okay, let's get back. Okay, so we're back in the 15. Okay, so yes, looks like that vertical line is there. Let me just refresh the river. Okay, so we've picked up a couple of little lines. Okay, so yes, so we go through the questions. We need to have a vertical line alert, and we have. We need an orange timing line below dotted yellow or green center line. We have. We need to have a current low diamond. We have, because it's got a white line joining it. Okay. We also, as you can see, we do have, and not necessarily, we don't need to have a green shading in window 2 for it to be assessed, because we do have 2 of the 3 windows from Windows W3, W4, and W5. We've got W3 and W5. Okay, so virtually we've got all yeses to 6 questions. Okay, so it's confirmed. So let's see what we've got in it. Okay, so 15 minutes of 30 pip top level. We can see the channel is 21, 20. So that means our default by default, which is greater than that. Our trade one management line would be 30 pips. Okay, so it's just below. Yeah, so it's just below the top. Okay, so there, there, Make sure that I'm not too far off. Oh, a little bit. Oops. Anyway, you get the idea. It's not too hard to go and do these. Okay, so that's it. Okay, it's achieved its minimal requirements. Okay, it's hit the first trade management line, and at the same candle, but its current high, which has a dotted white line. So at this point, if we went for a 1-for-1, would have been the trade would have been taking profit for us, because after take profit would have been hit, and not long after, a diamond appeared. Yeah, or it may have appeared as it was crossing it. Either way, we've got our 1-for-1. Okay, so once again, you can see here that our targets been met. Whether we should have put our profit at trade management 2, and if it didn't make it and we got diamond to exit, we could have done that. But once again, if we have multiple time frames, and let me just multiple charts, it's easier to go and see that information. Okay, so excuse me as I move up. Okay, so here I'm just going to change the H1. Okay, so you can see in the H1 got a solid pink, and our timing line is still above it and some distance. Yeah, our center line hasn't got pink yet, so we can see that price action is really touching pink center line. It can spike through that, and and touching our timing line. Yeah, which is from this spot still another 16 pips away. Yeah, we're starting to see an appearance of a blue line, but because orange timing line and solid pink center line would make this a non-confirmed. Yeah, but having them present suggests that there's some momentum, which is supporting that the 15-minute would get its 1-for-1, 30 pips. Yeah, so let's just change that H1 to M30 to see what sort of information it's giving us. Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay, it hasn't changed yet. So as we wait for it to change, while we're waiting for the H1 to change, you can see on the right hand side, the Aussie M5 price action is just really moving sideways, literally moving sideways. Yeah, those are very small 1.5, 2 pip candles. Yeah. Okay, so over here on now that we've got the top left hand corner, the M30, you can see that the timing line is basically on top of the center line. Yeah, so not quite below it, but once again supporting that price could move up some additional pips, may even reach the second trade management line. Yep. Let's change that to M5 so we can go and have a look while we still have the M15 there, that we can have a static one to compare it with those other time frames. And when you're looking at candles and that, sometimes when you look at the candles, you may think it's bigger than what it is or smaller than what it is. So a lot of times it's just good to go and just physically measure it. So you have some sort of representative size. Okay, so as soon as my chart becomes active again, we'll have a quick measurement on the M5 to see what sort of. Okay, cool. Okay, so top left hand, we now got an M5 chart of the trade. Okay, so here's got a center line, still green. Okay, so one, and there's some, so there might be still a little bit more. But as you can see, it can move like that for another 5, 10, 15 minutes and grind its way up. But there's enough things to say there's a bit of a ceiling there, yeah? Okay, so let's have a measure of this little candle here to see what size these candles are. Yeah, okay. So these candles, 5-minute candles on the Aussie US, are 1.5 to 2 pips. Okay. Yeah, 2.5 pips. So once again, not big size candles and that. So it'll move, might touch the center line, move back down. So it's just do that consolidation movement. Okay, so it's had, once again, big gap this morning because of the Australian elections and that. So it does need to consolidate. And in that consolidation or moving downwards for the, and when it's moving down like that, it's just people that entered the trade earlier, a lot of them taking profit. Yeah. So, and it's a lot. Aussie's pretty much been driving what pound Aussie's been doing this morning. Yeah. So we looked at pound Aussie. Remember, Aussie went up 43 pips on open. Well, pound Aussie went down 102 pips. Okay. And remember how Aussie retraced a little bit and kept going up. You can see pound Aussie did the same, the opposite in reverse, and grind it further down. Okay, so when it's mirroring like that, it's because of the news. There was no news in, well, there was some news in England. Okay, but the Brexit and the Labour's and talks broken down. So it's a reason for why pound was weakening. Aussie had a positive boost because of the election. Why? Because it didn't really matter. Labor could have won, but Liberal won. As long as one party won and the election's finished, and they know that there's a government in place. Yep. That strictly means there's someone guiding the ship. So that was a positive. So that positive news with the negative news of pound has given pound Aussie quite a push down. Yeah. Okay. So there must, because it's got the diamonds are grinding in all time frames. Yeah, we're getting a lot of pauses as the alerts are actually being processed. Okay, so that's why we get that not responding part, because it's actually processing. Okay, so and in this instance, yeah, you're seeing a mirror image in pound and Aussie. Okay, so all right, well, we've got a couple of minutes left. Is anything that anybody would like to ask? with regards to what we've seen tonight. So, yeah. So next week, what we'll do is we'll do an 8 o'clock one and see if we can go and have a, well, with a bit of luck, a trade will present itself. Because 7 o'clock sometimes to seem a bit late for 6, because some trades happen between 6:30, 6 and 6:30, and 7, and then again a little bit later. So maybe we'll do it 8 o'clock next week and just see whether in that 40 minutes we're able to have a trade presented that everybody can enter. Okay, so once again, trade management lines, use the assessor, and if the assessor says yes, there's a trade, what are you going to do? Argue with it? If you're going to argue with it, you might as well stop trading now, because that's our framework that helps us. No worries, Sylvia. Because that's what helps us remove emotions, and it also allow all the mathematical calculations to help create and inform us of the probabilities of direction. Yeah, we have direction. We have direction. Okay, so how many people, if they saw this and got confirmed blue vertical line gave direction, wouldn't have picked this red zone as our profit destination? I suggest all of you would have, if you're caught with the confirmed vertical blue line, told you to look up for your profit, all of you would have been able to see where it's pointing to, yeah? Okay, and the other thing that helps us point is by doing the trade management lines, it helps reinforce that, okay? So pound Aussie, 20 pips, or channel, this one's 21, so we look up, our first trade management line is there, okay? A little bit higher. Okay, so confirmed, first place we look up is our first trade management line. We see this, the bottom of the zone, yeah. Next trade management line. Okay, it's up there, okay. So once again, by doing trade management lines, you're just putting something in the direction of where the template's identified that the price once has a probability, high probability, well, that it wants to go up, because it's been confirmed, and that your profit target is going to be above. It feels that it'll definitely get to 1 and perhaps 2. If it doesn't get to 2, you'll get a diamond that says, hey, time to get up, okay? And then when you draw these trade management lines and you see that their resistance zones are up there, it just reinforces the attraction, the price from down here as for up there, yeah? And notice that in going up, it's going higher, it wants to go higher than its previous little high, yeah? Because it likes that sort of symmetry. Okay. What have we got there? Okay, great. So over here we've got, yeah, red vertical line. We can ask the assessor and see whether it gives us a sell, but once again, we've got a lot of green, so our 15 might still want to grind higher, which means that our 5 is going to be a jumping diamond, yeah? So just, okay, so I'll leave it at that. So hopefully with when this webinar's finished, that since you're in front of your screen, you may take advantage of something that's you see right now, okay, and work with the charts. Okay, so thank you for tonight, and looking forward to the screenshots and trades and trade opportunities. And moving forward. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you for your time.